on Zoom. One second, let me just turn this around really quickly. And guys, on Instagram, I'll do my best to read your comments, but it's hard for me to go back and forth between both. So forgive me. Don't think I'm ignoring you. Kiana, hey, how are you? Good to see you. Michelle, what's going on? Tanisha, how are you? Jacqueline's here. Thalia's here. All right, Myra's notebook taker is here, but it's not about to be here. I'm gonna remove you. You can't be sending your note taker and you ain't here. This is script practice. So all right, guys, I'm waiting for Kimberly to join. In the meantime, oh, Kimberly's here, so let me make Kimberly my co-host. For the people who haven't been on the call in a long time, I got to give you some house rules. Cameras have to be on. There are no exceptions on this call. If your cameras aren't on, Kimberly's going to remove you. You have the option to go over to Instagram and watch it live, but that's a rule. So B, Thalia, Kimberly's the only person who can have her camera off. She's my assistant working in the background, so she gets a pass. So let's get it going. Archie, what's going on? Thanks for joining us this morning. What's up? What's up? Man, you taking me back to the days when I was in Dallas prospecting. I had the headset with the mic on, man. I would have my New York Yankees hat on. That was like my whole outfit because there was so much rejection. I had to keep reminding myself they're not telling me no. They're telling me not yet. So that NY for the Yankees hat was like my constant reminder, like, just keep going. They're not rejecting you. It's a not yet, not a no. So, man, I appreciate you being here. As people continue to join, I'm going to go ahead and get us started with some, not gratitude, but I want to hear your wins from the past week. And Kimberly's going to start doing something as people join. She's going to be collecting groups of 3 people. And so when she gives me a name, what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign one person to be the agent, one person to be the client. It could be seller or buyer. And then one person to like just pay attention and observe. We're not going to be getting feedback from everybody because last week what I noticed is that many people didn't get an opportunity to role play. And you guys are on here not to just, it's not a spectator sport. You're here to actually get practice in. So I want to make sure everybody gets an opportunity to either give feedback, be an agent, be a seller, or be a buyer. So Kimberly's going to be going through collecting names of 3. She'll give them to me. I have some objections that I'm going to put up on the board so you know what we're going to be covering during that role play. And then you're going to have 2 minutes to go through it. And here's what I just want to say before I hear some of the wins for the week. This is script practice. It is okay if you get called on and halfway through you're like, I'm stuck. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. You're here to learn. I don't expect you to know it all. If you knew it all, you wouldn't be here. So just if you're stuck, say you're stuck. We'll help you through it. We'll help you figure it out. What I always say and what I want you guys to remember is that the purpose of being here, we sweat and practice so we don't bleed in war. Of course, you may come here and you're a little nervous. Everybody is. Every single person on here is a little nervous, including me. I still get a little light butterflies here and there. It's okay. However, we sweat and practice so we don't bleed in war. What that means is you guys are showing up in front of your clients not knowing what to say, and that's actually costing you. That's the real pain when you're losing tens of thousands of dollars in commission because you didn't come here and practice. So can we all agree to play full out? This is not role play. This is real play. Act as if the person you're talking to is an actual client, and let's work through the script. If you make a mistake, we'll correct you. Is that fair? All right, cool. Kimberly, start collecting those names for me. In the meantime, I want to hear 3 wins from the past week. Tell me 3. If you guys have been working, there's been some type of win or learning lesson. I want to hear about it. So,
win under contract, David.
Yes. What's up, Sean? I'd love to hear it, man. Who was that? Is that a buyer or seller?
I got a call last week. Showed him a house on Saturday. We submitted the offer on Sunday, went under contract Sunday night, already had the inspection Wednesday, and we're moving forward, man, really quick.
Man, can't they all be that easy? Wouldn't that be nice? That'd be a beautiful thing. Congratulations on that. Give me 2 more wins.
Thanks.
Are there no wins because y'all ain't working? Are y'all being shy? Are y'all kind of comparing your wins to somebody else's win? If your win was I finally picked up the phone and made my first phone call, it's a win. Stop worrying about what other people think. I want to hear your wins. What's up, Kiana?
I'll jump in as a new person, David.
Yes.
My win this week is this actually is my first script practice since becoming a realtor back in 2020,
Wow, man. Well, welcome. Thank you for being here. Where are you located?
Chicago.
Chicago. Okay, so man, if you get your first listing, from being on this call, I want the big bag, the Chicago mix from Garrett's, man. I'll get you my address. You got to hook it up.
I
But
got you.
the reason why I asked where you were from, man, you're from Chicago, so you got a lot of agents on here. I got Atlanta, I got Miami, I got New Jersey, New York, PA. You guys, if you go to the top right-hand corner of those boxes, you can click and it says rename. It should be Archie Hollins Chicago. Like, let people know where you are because they may need a referral partner. You guys are on here with agents from around the country. You're missing out on the opportunity. I mean, Anita's not, Michelle's not. A few of you guys have it, but you should change your name. I would. Michelle, what's your win?
Oh, you skipped me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
He jumped
I'm
in.
sorry,
I'm
Kiana. I'm sorry.
sorry.
Yep, I got thrown off. I'm sorry. Go ahead,
No
Kiana.
worries.
Sorry.
I had a buyer win. Actually, I'm sitting on an offer that came in last night, an acceptance of an offer. So I'm waiting to connect with my buyers this morning. So that would be 2 buyer contracts this week.
Congratulations. You celebrate that?
No.
I love for you guys to get in the habit of celebrating your wins. You get something under contract, let's celebrate. It could be small. I don't care if you get up and just throw on some praise and worship music and dance around. If that's your celebration, that's your celebration. But celebrate those wins. That's a big deal. Congratulations on that. Michelle.
Okay, so for one of my buyer clients, we have an appraisal that has been approved for their home. So we appraise, we don't have to go back to negotiating. I'm excited about that for them because they're a first-time home buyer. And then also he is working through um, just getting, all the nuances done. It's a lot, but I'm happy for them. I've been working with them for a year. And then for a seller client, ironically, I've been working with them for over a year and they are not budging on a price improvement. However, they are having an open conversation with someone who really wants to be in the neighborhood. So it's more like touchy feely. I don't really get it because I'm like, let me just, change the price in the multiple listing service. But if this is working to get them closed, I'm like, bruh, let's go.
Yeah, listen, when's the last time you've had that like come to Jesus meeting with them where you sit down, you go over the comps, you talk about what's happening, revisit their motivation?
I do it all the time, but they're the kind that tries to divert from that. And I have to develop more skill just to like get them back to, hey, this is why we're talking. We need to talk about a price improvement. So, or a price adjustment, however you want to name it. But my challenge is they want to talk about roses and rainbows. And I'm like, I'm talking about price. Let's talk about business. So
If we
that's
have
my
some time
challenge.
at the end, raise your hand and let's when I say, hey, what's something you guys want to role play out? I want to role play that out with you and see what you're saying to them so that we can maybe help you figure out a way to get them to open up and talk with you and not sidetrack that conversation. That's a very important conversation. And it concerns me that they don't want to address it because it's costing them money. The longer they
Yeah.
sit there, that's what they need to understand. They are doing themselves a disservice by not having that conversation with you. So we'll talk about that, Michelle.
Can I be
Okay,
part of it as
thank
well?
you.
I'm having the same issue.
Okay, so then we definitely need to do it. Perfect. So and maybe Kiana, you and Michelle can role play together because you guys understand what the sellers are saying. So it may be a better role play if you guys are doing it together because you're both dealing with that issue. So let me just write a note down just so I don't forget.
Thank you.
Kimberly, if you can hear me, I'm waiting on my name, so I need my 3 names. Thalia.
Okay, my big one is being here today live. So I'm usually on IG, so
Well,
um,
glad we converted you and brought you over here. This is not the dark side. This is where you
yeah.
need to be. I'm happy to have you here.
I do have another when I got my first seller listing from a referral actually from Florida. So that's kind of fun.
Yep. Which makes my point why we need to have our names up here on the computer because you never know where the referrals are coming from. Valia, while I'm waiting for the names from Kimberly, can I just tell you something that I learned and it really helped me getting referrals? That referral person, that was an agent who gave you the referral? Okay, even if it's not an agent, just a regular person, when you meet with that client, you hit that referral person back and say, hey, we met. When you find the house, hey, we found their property. Hey, we're under contract. Always keep them in the loop on what's happening. They appreciate that, because the worst thing is for them to be like, man, I called Thalia, I gave her a referral, I haven't heard anything. What's going on? They shouldn't have to wonder what's going on. And if they do have to wonder, they're not going to give you a referral next time. They're going to go to someone else. So show them how you actually will communicate with them throughout the process. They'll love it. And then at closing, you might send another gift like, thank you again. I'm always open for all your referrals, but make sure you always, guys, communicate with the people who give you referrals. It's a huge deal. Thank you, Thalia. Appreciate you sharing.
I've been in communication with her. And so, and you know, she's a friend. So, you know, it's definitely, it made a difference because she gave me some advice as well about the client. So that was good.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right, so Jacqueline, I need you to be the observer to maybe give a little piece of feedback if any's needed. Michelle, I want you to be the agent. Kiana, I actually want you to be the seller. And we're going to start off, I'm not going to use the objections I have. We're going to start off with the one that's important to you guys right now, which is you have a listing, right? And the price needs to be lowered. And they're not listening. They're diverting that conversation and going somewhere else with it. And you need to bring them back to the price. We are here to talk about one thing and one thing only, and that is a price improvement on your property so we can get it sold. So I just want to start off and show you guys are at the house, you're at the table. I want you to go right into the conversation. No fluff. Like, hey, I asked you guys to meet with me today because of X. And I want you to go right into it. I'm going to give you 2 minutes on the clock. You may not be able to get through everything, but 2 minutes will give us enough of a feel of, you know, what you're saying and maybe what we can improve on. So why don't we go ahead and do that when I say go, and let's just go ahead and start the role play.
Gotcha.
Go.
All right, Kiana, thank you so much for meeting with me today. As you know, today we wanted to discuss a plan on how we can ensure that we get this house sold so that you can use the proceeds towards purchasing your land and also moving into your modular home. So how does that sound to you?
Well, you know, Michelle, we told you before, we thought about the price and we're really firm on this. We think that what we have is a good value to people. We love that our property and we love that it has waterfront access. So, you know, we think that counts for a lot more than what you're suggesting we do.
Kiana, I can appreciate that. And yes, your home is a beautiful home. You have a lovely property. At the same time, it's not about what I think, and unfortunately, it's not about what you think. It's about what the market is telling us. And right now, the market is showing us, after having several showings and very little offers, the market is showing us that we need to reposition ourselves. So I've prepared some numbers for you. It looks like we need to focus on a number between 315 and 320. So where would you like to position your home today?
Well, me and my husband spoke about it, and you know, our thoughts is if we lower the price, we're going to have to take out a larger mortgage, and that was not our plan. You know, I'm semi-retired and I just can't afford to have a high mortgage. So we need every penny of the proceeds of the property to make sure that we have a lower mortgage.
I see, Kiana, and from the looks of it, I've shared these numbers with you, and in your neighborhood, do you see that there are houses selling at between three?
House down the street just sold for $10,000 more than what we have. We suggested this price and they sold for $10,000 more than that.
Right. And I do understand that.
I'm gonna pause you guys. Time is up. 2 minutes goes by really quick, doesn't it?
It does.
I know.
And I'm sorry,
I
I wanted to give you, I'm literally giving you the objections that they gave me.
I love it.
They're
Yeah.
exactly what they gave me. And so this is what I'm fighting against. The mortgage, the house down the street sold, and yeah, but good job. Thank you.
Yeah, that was a good job. Now here's the question right here. First of all, Jacqueline, anything you picked up on, any feedback you have? It could be small. It could be like, hey, well, I'll let you speak.
I love that Michelle spoke about if she knew any other houses that sold. So that's one of the first things we have to throw at them. I love that she mentioned the market determines the price, but I would have thrown in there days on market because that makes a big difference. Every time you tell somebody about the pricing, they be like, "Oh no, that one's sold." But if it lasts too long on the market, people are gonna think that something's wrong with it. That's the way I see it.
I love it. All
I
right.
I agree wholeheartedly. These are the things that
Right?
have a conversation because that offer I told you I got accepted, one of the two is a 15 or 14-day contingency on getting a house under contract. So with this kind of line drawn in the sand, it's going to be a struggle because they're like,
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
So really quickly, I'll say this. We need to know the local inventory. So when they say to you, I think Kiana, your seller said the house down the street sold for 10,000. I'm assuming, did you know that?
I knew that. But the difference when I first met this client was that we met in the summer, different market. They rushed me to get it listed the second or third week of September because they found a house that they absolutely love where they want to go. And so the plan was we were supposed to list it like 6 weeks before to kind of still catch that market. And then we ended up shifting because they were like dragging, oh, we don't want to do it now because what if it sells? Then we don't have any place to go. But when a house opened up in the exact neighborhood that they absolutely wanted and loved, that's when they went berserk. Oh, sell it now, sell it now. And I'm like, we lost a different buyer. There's different people in that summer market than are in this fall market. I think fall market buyers are in for bargains and discounts because they can be found, they can be had. It's a different market. You're not competing with as many people. They just got the kids settled into school. Nobody else. I'm not saying they're not looking, but it's a different buyer. And now that's what we're up against.
Well,
So
it's a different market. And I think that you and Michelle may need to say that because that's the actual thing you're dealing with. It's a different market. And so you have to get them to understand that. So, Kiana, let me ask you this. Have you in your life ever bought stock in a company before?
yes,
So you know how the stock market works, right?
yes.
So if you bought a stock, let's say a year ago, and you bought it, it was trading at $100 a share, and you absolutely have to cash out and sell it right now, and it's only selling at $75 a share, how much can you get for it?
$75 a share.
Yeah, and so what's interesting is the housing market is just like the stock market. It's not about what you bought it for or what it was trading for a year ago. It's only worth what it's trading for right now. And the comparables are showing us your home is only trading for this amount. So I can appreciate you want more. I can appreciate your neighbor sold for $10,000 more. But just like the stock market, that was a different market. The market we're in right now says you have to be priced here. And my concern is if we stay on the market, that market can change again. And how are you going to feel if you only can get less money for your home when you really, really have to sell it? How's that going to make you feel? And so we have to be able to walk them through that conversation to get them to see it. And by asking those types of questions, when I ask you about the stock market and I tell you, well, how much can you sell it for now? And you say 75, I'm guiding you in that conversation. You're coming to the realization like, yeah, I get it. I bought it here. I have to sell it. Yes, I have to sell it at that price. That's you coming to that realization, not me telling you. And the issue is with these conversations, so many times we go in and tell, they think that's our opinion. But when we can ask questions and get them to start figuring it out, it's a little easier for them to make the change because they came to that conclusion through us asking questions, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I just have one other pushback I'll give you that they've given me is that they don't have to sell. And they don't. They want to because they want to get into this neighborhood that's near their daughter. The only thing I think, one of the things I think I can use to help that conversation is their offer is contingent on them selling in 14 days, or at least getting under contract. The offer is for a house in that neighborhood. So that's the other thing. It's like, hey, we've gotten you what you wanted. Now we need you to work to get this house sold.
And I'll say this and then we'll wrap it up and I'm gonna go to my next group. This is why it's so important in the beginning. And this is what I teach in Push, the framework for digging for motivation. This is when you go back and you talk about why they want to be near their daughter, why they want to be in that neighborhood. What's that going to do for them? Are they closer to grandkids? Are they looking for that connection? Whatever that is, then you have to bring the motivation back into the conversation because if that's still important to them, well, they don't have to move. Well, great, but you wanted to, and why?
Right.
You
Okay.
can't get time back, right? In the time you're not with your grandkids, you can't get that back. And so if we're talking about spending a little extra money, but the payoff is the bond and being around for birthdays and holidays, that's where you have to go back to motivation.
Okay. All
So
right.
if you don't know it, go back and dig for it, and then go for motivation, figure out if they're going to do the right thing. You may have to fire them. If they're not willing to be coachable, you may have to let them go.
That's been on my mind as well. Because realistically, if you can't move on that price point, and your house is not selling, it's not going to sell.
And you're wasting your time.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Let me pull up my chat and get the next 3 people. My chat is hidden over here. Okay. Kristen, Hillary, and Reddy, if I said that correctly. I need you guys to unmute. I'm going to share something on my screen. This is what you guys are going to be covering. Can you guys see that? All right. Kristen,
Yes.
you unmuted, Kristen?
Yes.
Hillary? Everybody unmuted? Uh-oh. Do we not have a Hillary? Hillary, can you unmute? I see you there trying. Bottom left-hand corner. All right. We're having some problems here. All right, I'm just going to take over and pull somebody else in. Sydney, Kristen, Sydney. Sydney was like, damn, David, you got me.
No, that was really what I was saying.
Ready? You available, man, to do the to give feedback?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, perfect. So, Kristen, I want you to be the agent. Sydney, I want you to be the seller. And I want you to just say, hey, another agent said they could get us 50K more. So you're looking to land this listing. They have another agent saying they can get them 50 grand more. I want to hear how you will overcome that particular objection. All right?
Okay.
And I'm going to say, and you just say that, Sydney, as soon as I say go, just say another agent said they could get us 50 grand more. We'll get right into the role play. Go.
Hey, yeah, another agent told me they can give me $50,000 more. So
What I hear you saying, Sydney, is that at this point that the financial piece is of big concern to you. Is that correct?
yes.
How would you feel if I were to sit down and really show you the numbers? The market today is starting to shift a little bit. I think that if we wait any longer, we might miss the wave of today. Did you bring the numbers that I had requested that you get your mortgage payment, any other monies that might be owed, everything else like that?
Well, yes, I did. I mean, like you said, if then I probably need to just go with that guy that told me he can give me 50,000 more. If you're telling me that, time is of the essence.
So let me ask you, if I were to show you a way today that would bring you a number that you feel comfortable with, would you be willing to sign?
If you can bring me $50,000 like this, or more than what the guy can do me, the other agent can do, if you can beat his number.
So I'm not quite sure how he is promising you to get $50,000 more. We can sit down and we can run the comps. We can price your home strategically in the best manner to try and get the best price in the terms that you're looking for. I heard you say that you're moving to Florida, to be with family and that you want to be there soon. The longer that the home is on the market, the more money that's going to be out of your pocket. With that being said, if we were to get you listed today, I'm confident that if we came in at a price.
Time. All right. Good go of it. Ready. Tell me how to say your first name. I feel like I'm not saying it right.
So I'm going to be honest. This is my first time live role playing. So like that.
What? I think you did well. And thank you for being here, and thank you for putting yourself out there. It's always a little awkward in the beginning. We just got to push through it, which you did. So you went for 2 minutes. How do you feel?
I feel good, and I've never been on a listing appointment, I'll be honest. So,
Well, we're gonna change
like my
that.
own listing appointment.
We're gonna change that. We're gonna get you in front of some sellers. That's what I'm talking about. Ready? Where you at, man?
Hi,
Hey, where you at? Where you at? What's your feedback? And how do I pronounce your first name?
it's Riddhi.
Reddy. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. Tell me what you heard. Is there anything that you heard that could have been said differently?
I mean, I'm not an expert. This is like, I'm a new realtor, so
Yeah,
I'm
it's okay.
still learning, so I don't want to say. And I just felt she was a little like hesitant while talking, not as confident. And that might be a
That's
issue.
a big deal. That's something big to pick up because if you're not confident in what you're saying, the seller's not going to be confident in you. So
Yeah.
it's a big deal that we show up and practice with confidence. So even as a new agent, you're picking out things that make sense. That's good feedback. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
So one thing I was thinking, like you get these sellers all the time, and I'll just say this quickly because I want to get into the next role play. Kristen, what if you just said, "Hey, Sydney, okay, so if I can take your property at 50 grand more, you'll list with me right now." And he's going to say, "Well, yeah." All right, well, let's go ahead and sign the paperwork, and then let me show you what's going to happen right after I take your listing. And then what I would do at a listing appointment, not only should you have active and sold comps, I want you to have every withdrawn and every expired comp with you as well. And then after he signs the paperwork, I'm going to pull it out and say, these are all the homes that did what you want me to do. They started here, and let's look at what happened. Let's go through each one. And then we're going to end up showing what they sold for after all the price reductions is sitting on the market for 2, 3, 4, 5 months. And I'm going to say, you told me you have to be in Chicago by January. Like if we're sitting on the market for 4 months and not selling, is that Chicago by January? Is that acceptable? What happens if your home doesn't sell and it expires just like the ones that were overpriced did? How's that going to affect you? And then start having that conversation and say, so yeah, I could do it for 50 grand, but I won't. Because I'd rather turn you down than let you down because I know you have to be in Chicago. So if there's someone who's saying they could get you more, you have the option to go and list with them, but that's just putting you on the market. You need to be in the market, and I'm going to have that whole discussion. I'm not going to tell it all. That's why you got to sign up for Push. That's what we cover in Push. However, I need you to understand that there is a way to have that conversation, and you got to come with the stats. You got to show them the numbers. We need to know our numbers. And when someone's trying to overprice, show them the story. The numbers are the story. And it's not your opinion when you're showing them numbers. That's fact. Because Jay-Z says it best, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. So that agent saying they can get them 50 grand more, we know what that is. They're buying the listing just to get it, and they're going to beat them up for a price reduction. Show them that narrative. Show them what's going to happen and how that can hurt them, and you'll get the business. All right, next up, Sharif, Matt, and Hillary. Matt's driving. I just want to make sure Matt's clear to role play because I want them to be safe. You good? You can do it? Okay. So Matt's going to be the seller. Sharif, you're going to be the agent. Hillary, I actually want you to observe this role play. And here we go. This is an expired listing. They're really discouraged. They tried before and it didn't sell. And they're really discouraged, so they're not sure if they want to put it back on the market. So Matt's going to be a seller. All right. Sharif, you're going to be the agent. Hillary, observe and get us some feedback. When I say go, Matt, I just want you to start off with, listen, we already tried that. We're just going to take the house off the market. 1, 2, 3, go.
Hey, Sharif, I appreciate it, but I think we're just going to pull the house for now and wait till after the holidays.
Yeah, of course, man. That's not a problem at all. I mean, it's your house. You do as you will. But if you don't mind me asking you, what's going to change between now and the holiday?
Well, I'm going to spend more money, that's for sure.
Say that one more
So
time?
I'm going to spend more money between now and the holidays. I got
Of
kids,
course, right?
and, I got things I got to buy and take care of. So,
Okay.
it's a little too busy, a little hustle and bustle, and I think it'd be best if we wait and then, I'll try again in the spring.
I got you. Well, let me ask you, I mean, why were you selling from the first place?
Well, there's a little bit of a runway before the holidays, so I was, thinking about testing the waters a little bit and seeing what I could get for the property. kind of painted a pretty clear picture. So I think the spring market will be better.
Gotcha. And where were you headed to after you sell?
I don't know. This is a second property.
Oh, so you already have another one that you're planning on going to?
Yes.
And that one is vacant, it's not rented?
No, my parents are living there. I'm relocating them.
Oh, so you're gonna be living in that one and your parents are gonna relocate?
Yep, they're going to Florida.
Wow, that's nice. Why Florida?
Why not? They're old. They're brittle. They got to have their bones. They're too cold up here.
Listen, we can all use some Florida sun, can't we?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have listed your property before. Unfortunately, the agents couldn't sell it for you. What I would like to do is just have a seat for maybe like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah,
right?
no,
Give you
good. I'm good, Sharif. I'm good, brother. I appreciate it. We're pretty hard set on definitely trying to, wait until the spring market. I don't really have anything that's showing me that, there's a lot of movement happening right now. The holidays are coming. I really don't want the hustle and bustle of too many people coming in my house. You know what I'm saying?
Got you. So since you don't want the hustle and bustle and you don't want too many people coming in and out of your house, what we can do and what I usually do for people like in your case that do not want to sell and want to wait until a different market or a different season, what we can do for these kind of people is do exclusive right to sell. So which means we can just not present the house to the public, right? We can sell it off market. Whatever offer
Yeah,
we can get.
Sharif, I don't want to. I've had somebody tell me that before. I don't want to. That's not going to maximize my profits, man. I'm not. If I sell it off market, I'm not gonna. Nobody's gonna see it. You know what I mean? So, I appreciate the candor. I definitely give me a call in the springtime. Maybe I'll have it listed by. We'll list it by then, or I'll have you come over for an interview.
Time. I gave you a little bit more time because you did something I was going to give you in feedback. So since you did it, I was like, let me give him a couple more minutes. Here's what you did that I loved. I didn't see you taking notes, but you were paying attention. Matt kept using this phrase, hustle and bustle. And so you mirrored and matched that. And when you were talking to him, you used hustle and bustle. You're speaking his language. So I like that. And when you said that, I'm like, I'm going to let you go for a little bit longer. Let me ask you, Hillary, what's the thing that you picked up on that?
I thought, for one, both agents did really well. The conflict really was the timing, and we can't predict what's going to happen in the future, but we know what's going to happen more. So I think the agent should have put more emphasis on that, like today.
Okay. Anything else?
He wasn't a serious seller.
Okay. So I kind of heard Matt saying like hustle and bustle and I'm super busy, right? And so in my head, I'm thinking everybody's super busy right now. It's a lot of hustle and bustle for everyone. So if a buyer is actually out during this market looking at property and they're dealing with all the things that Matt's dealing with too, that must mean they're a really serious buyer. So shouldn't we be available for those people who during the wintertime when it's cold, they're out looking at property and they're dealing with the hustle and bustle of life, but they still are out looking at properties? To me, that shows that they're really serious. And so I would have found a way like, Matt, if you could give me one day during the holidays where your home was available to be shown, where you and the family could be out and the house could be clean and it was just one day so it wasn't a major inconvenience, could you make that work? Well, great. Then I'll have showing set up on that day only because I want to capture those people who are out there looking now. We know what the market is doing now, and the people who are looking in the winter are serious buyers. I would have gone in that direction. Matt, what do you think about that?
I like it. I actually just gave you the exact scenario that I'm dealing with. So it was good. It was a good role play.
I love that. I love that feedback, man.
I was able to push through it. Actually, it ends up being a double-ended deal, right? Because I have to sell it and then we're going to buy something. So how we pushed through was, I don't want the busyness of the holidays. And I said, look, if you give me 1 week to prep your house and then 2 weeks of runway, and I can get multiple offers on the property and it's within the number you're looking for, would you sell? Yeah. Okay, great. Sign a 3-week listing appointment with me. I'll come by for you to the house. And at the end of the day, if you don't like it, no problem. We're done. We'll tear the paper up. I'll come back in the spring and we'll sell it in a better market. I also talk about the cost of waiting. I'm not going to get into it here, but reach out to a lender that you guys are really good and associated with and ask them about the cost of waiting, meaning What is the math on appreciation of homes in New Jersey in your market center in the last 3 to 6 months? And then what's that prediction going to be in the next 6 months after? They'll give you analytics on what the cost of waiting is, meaning if I buy now, how much more expensive will it be if I buy later?
And Matt, here's the thing. Before we go into the next role play, here's the thing. You absolutely know with confidence that if you have time to prep and you have 2 weeks to sell it, you'll get that sold in 2 weeks. And you know that because you're going to do what? What's the one thing you're going to do to make sure you sell it?
Price.
Price watching, baby.
There it is. And he's going to price it right. It's all about the price. We could sell if a seller told us I have to have my home sold today, David, we absolutely can get it sold today. It's all about the price. You guys know that, right? So it just depends on how serious that seller is and how coachable they are. All right, next up.
That's great.
Let me see who I got here. All right. I got Olivia, Kevin, and Ariane. And Kevin threw his hand up, and Kevin's up. So there you go. Got Kevin, Olivia, and Ariane. You guys all unmuted?
Yep.
All right. So, Kev, I actually want you to be the agent. Olivia, I'd like for you to be the seller. Ariane, I want you to give us feedback, okay? And here it is. It's a commission thing. We don't want to pay the 6% that you're asking us. You come in, you tell them your commission, what it is. They're pushing back on the commission that you charge. They want a lower commission. That's what we're dealing with right now. So Olivia, I'm going to put 2 minutes on the clock. If you just say to Kevin, like, listen, we're not going to pay that commission. We're not going to pay 6%. And then Kev, you go into it. You got 2 minutes. Let's go. Olivia, you're up. You just got to say to Kevin, I'm not paying 6%.
We're not comfortable with paying 6%.
Okay. So everything, with everything else that we've spoken about, you're okay with the listing price that I brought to you. Tell me a little bit more about why you don't feel comfortable paying that 6% commission.
So over the past 2 weeks, we've interviewed about 12 different realtors, and they have all been comfortable with 4.5, with a lower number.
4.5.
Yes.
4.5%. Okay, so if they're willing to negotiate their what they get paid for doing a professional job, at 4.5%, what makes you think that they're not going to negotiate what you're doing, what price they're bringing to when they bring a buyer?
Their presentations were great. However, our bottom line, we're not in a position. We don't want to go into our other funds to kind of compensate. So we are not willing to pay that commission.
Okay, so if I did bring you a buyer at the price point that you want, are you open to that 6% commission? If I do bring you a buyer at the number that you want?
I feel like if we hire you at a commission rate that we agree on, then, we're willing to pay you the commission. But right now, the commission that we're comfortable with is a little bit lower than what you're bringing us.
In the event that I bring you an offer that's more than what you're asking for, are you open to bringing me that paying me that 6%?
I don't think that's going to happen in this market, so sure.
All right. So if you're open to the 6%, let's get this paperwork signed and I'll go ahead and start working for you.
All right, great.
Thank you. All right, I'll see you soon. Bye.
Okay. All right. Ariane?
So I'm just curious. She said she interviewed 12 realtors at 4.5%. Why didn't she hire any one of them?
It's a great question. So that's what you would ask. Well, you had all these people who would do it at 4.5%. Why am I here? Why didn't you hire them?
Like 12 people.
Right. Okay. Anything else?
And he said twice. He said, if I brought you a buyer, and then he also said about again, if I brought you an offer, if he would pay. If they would pay the 6%, and she wasn't really confident with this market. She's like, well, yeah, okay. So I think, focusing on some numbers, and talking about list price to sales price ratio, where if we price it right and position it correctly on the market, they'll get the price they want, or at least close to it, which will cover his commission. And it'll bring multiple offers, a lot of activity, and then we'll put them in the driver's seat so that they can pick and choose.
So they can pick and choose. Okay, thank you, Ariane. Really quickly, before I go to the next person, I just want to say something really quick. I've gotten a lot of calls this week and texts, and people are like, hey, I know you got push coming up. I want to hear a little bit more about it. To save some time and trying to coordinate with a lot of you guys separately outside of this call, anybody who's interested in hearing when we end script practice at 9:30 on the dot, stay on for 5 minutes. Only the people who are interested. Script practice will be over, but if you're interested in hearing more, stay on and we'll talk for like 5 minutes and I'll just handle the questions then. So just keep that in mind. All right, next up, let us go to Archie, Kelly, and Thalia. Thalia, you're going to be observing and listening for me. Kelly, you're going to be the agent. Archie, you're going to be the seller. All right. And Archie, I think I want to rent my house out instead. It's not selling, like you really want to move and you're telling your agent, I think I just want to rent it out instead of selling. All right. Just want to make sure he's unmuted.
Yeah.
Okay, you're unmuted, Archie. Cool. Kelly, you're unmuted. Okay, perfect. So Kelly, I'm just going to say go, and then you just say, I'm sorry, Archie, I'm going to say go, and you tell Kelly, hey, listen, we want to rent the house out instead of selling. All right, go ahead and go.
No, I just think we've decided instead of selling, we're just going to go ahead and put the house up for rent and approach it that way.
Okay, so Archie, what's important about renting as opposed to selling?
For us right now, it just seems like selling is so much of a hassle. It's a headache. It just hasn't been a great experience for us trying to even get to the market and get going.
Not a good experience. Okay, I understand that. I'm sure you're disappointed by the experience that you had. Archie, I'm just curious, what's your experience with being a landlord?
Just from what I've heard, I have friends that are landlords that have rental properties. I've not experienced it myself, so I don't unfortunately have firsthand experience.
No firsthand experience. Well, that's interesting. I am a landlord, and trust me, it's not a bowl of roses. You sounds like you're going to be out of state and you're going to be managing this property. How do you plan on going about getting that done? Managing it, picking tenants, dealing with repairs and things of that sort.
Just for referrals from the landlords that I know in the city here.
Okay, and so you're prepared to deal with all of that, and also the fact that your tax implications may be different, making it a rental as opposed to selling it. Are you aware of that? You've spoken to maybe a
tax. No, tax implications in what way?
Well, so now that this is a rental property, so when you sell it as a person that's lived in it for 2 to 5 years, then there's some capital gains advantages because you've lived in it for a certain amount of years. But as a rental, you don't get that tax advantage. And now you will pay capital gains taxes because you're looked at more as an investor as opposed to a homeowner in your primary home. And that's could possibly, cost you. Are you okay with that?
No, I don't know that we've thought that through. I mean, one of the other things that we thought of is, we're going to go ahead and move and just allow the tenants rent to pay the mortgage for this property that we have here.
Okay, well, that is definitely an option. But Archie, if there was an opportunity for you to get the house sold at this time, is that something that you would still explore?
I think if there's an opportunity, it's just that it seems the opportunities we've had haven't been the best opportunities. So we've just decided to go ahead and rent, let the tenant pay the mortgage, and then just go ahead and complete our move.
Okay, and is it possible that maybe a different agent with a different strategy and a different perspective on getting your home sold could possibly get it done this time?
I think anything's possible. Just we've been soured so far with the 2 agents that we've worked with.
Okay.
That it just hasn't been a good experience.
I understand. And Archie, why are you selling anyway?
We're relocating to a warmer climate, so we're just gonna sell the
Okay.
house and get out of the snow.
Hey, I can live vicariously through you because I totally understand that. And where are you looking to move?
Gonna move down to Texas.
This okay, awesome, awesome. Listen, that sounds great. But Archie, I'm just interested in knowing if there was an opportunity where I can show you how I can get you a buyer for your home, and like I've done for other sellers in your situation. Would you just be open to the conversation?
I think we'd be open to the conversation. It would have to make sense. You know, it would have to be able to show us the path, and then me and my wife would be comfortable with that. And yeah, we could definitely have the conversation.
Okay, so Archie, this is what I would love to do. Is it okay if I make a recommendation?
Sure.
Okay, I'd like to come by, show you exactly what I've done for clients just like you who hadn't, their homes didn't sell, and show you a path that successfully works in this market to get your home sold. And it'll only take about 20 minutes of your time. And if it makes sense to you, then we can possibly move forward with getting your home sold. But if not, at least you'll have in your arsenal what it takes to sell a house successfully in this market. Is that something that we could do at 4 o'clock today, or would 4 o'clock tomorrow work best?
20 minutes. We could do 4 o'clock today.
Okay, and would your wife be available for that conversation?
Yeah, I'll make sure she's available.
Great, great. So Archie, before I let you go, what's the best email for you so I can send you out my resume with my track record and an itinerary for our meeting this afternoon?
I'm pause you right there. Okay. Kelly, yes. Can we clap it up for Kelly? Kelly, you, man, you Kelly do like listen, I loved everything I heard right there, and I let you go longer because I'm like, man, you're handling this, and people really just need to see how this really can play out if they are controlling the conversation with great questions. And wow, really good job there. Really good job.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I wanted to get feedback really quickly. Who did I have up for feedback for you? It was Thalia.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you. I'm busy writing notes, great questions, planting seeds of what the issues if you become a landlord and clearly the person doesn't have the background, and providing value of all that you can offer even before you even met with him, just your knowledge, and at the same time asking if that's okay. um, um, what was the other thing? The only other thing that I thought was you didn't ask what was the issues he had with the other realtors.
Okay. Okay. So
But
digging into that a little more. Okay. I love how you brought up the capital gains because you were creating some pain. And I was thinking when you brought that up, I was like, that's great. And then what if you had said, and Archie, we can't predict the market. So what if on top of having to pay capital gains, the market declines and you can't get as much for your home?
Yeah.
And you mentioned the tenants would pay the mortgage. What happens if the tenant loses their job? How many months can you afford to float this property and pay for your house in Texas? Like, make him think like maybe being a landlord is not the right thing for me. You were going down that road. I thought the capital gains was great. There are a couple more things that I think may have, put some more pain on it. And maybe you do that on the phone. Maybe you do that in person. However, I would add a little bit more pain, but there's nothing really I would say. You did a great job there. That was good.
Thank you.
Yep. Ladora Rachel Elwood. Rachel, you're going to be my agent. Ladora, you're going to be my seller. And Elwood, you know what you got, right?
Observation.
Yes, sir. I need to net at least $75,000. Hold on one second. Let me make sure I read that right. $750,000. I was like, I know that's not right. I need to net at least $750,000 or I'm not selling. So if I don't get my number, I'm not selling. That's what the seller says. Is that real? Are they posturing? That's what we kind of need to figure out. So when I start off, Ladora, that's what I want you to say. And then Rachel, let me hear how you get into it. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes on the clock, and then Elwood's gonna be observing and giving feedback. All right?
I'm the agent, correct? I'm sorry, it's my first time here.
Thank you for being here. Yeah, Rachel, you're going to be the agent. And like I said earlier, and I don't know if you heard me, if you get to a point and you feel like, I'm stuck, I don't know where to go from here, just tell us. We'll walk you through it. You know, this is just practice. So give it your best shot and we'll talk about it afterwards.
And I need to net 750,000, is it?
750,000 or I'm not selling.
Wow. When did you buy this house? In 1920?
No, it's
Right.
just it's a high-end market. She can afford to sell it. The issue is we know that that's not possible, and so we don't really have to talk about the numbers. We got to talk about the motivation, right? So take the numbers away from it, right? She's got to sell this house, and she knows she has to.
Yep.
This is posturing. So let me hear how you overcome it.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, Ladora. Just tell her I got to net at least 750. Let's go.
Yeah. Hey, Rachel. I mean, thanks for calling me, but I've already worked my numbers and I've really got a net 750,000 on this property. I've thought about it. I've looked at my numbers and that's where I'm at. And if I can't get that, I'm just not going to sell.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, thanks for meeting with me today. And just curious, if I was to get you the number that you're looking for today, where would you be going?
Yeah, well, we would like to just kind of downsize out of this downtown area. Our kids are gone. We're empty nesters and we don't need quite this much home. So not sure. We're looking at a couple areas that we may go, but definitely want to downsize from this luxury apartment downtown.
Oh, luxury apartment. Nice. Yeah. Okay. So I see that the market is dictating that your apartment would probably sell for $2.9 million. It looks like we might be a little shy of that 750 net. However, there might be some tactics that we could use to try to encourage people to give us an offer that brings you close to that. I guess my only concern for you would be if you were really hung up on that 750 number and we got a fantastic offer, that you might continue living in this house that's far too big for you and your husband, carrying the cost of carrying it, right? Taxes are going to be coming in and the winter is rolling in, right? So I'm going to imagine that you have to shovel the front because that's what we do up here.
Yes.
So I guess my question for you is, are you willing to let me get it on the market so we can get going? And then obviously I can, bring you offers and it's up to you. You don't have to accept anything that you don't want to accept, but I think that we definitely should get going to try so we don't miss the market.
So are you saying that I can get you? Do you feel confident about my pricing that I need, or you're saying you're not sure that I can get that?
So I'm saying as an agent in my 15 years of doing this, I can never guarantee anyone any price because the buyers essentially dictate the value of a home, right? The market is going to be what the market is. I can price a home $100,000 below market and it's still going to end up getting to the point where it's market price, right? I've had instances where I've priced a home far below market and it still got bid up $100,000. I can overprice a home though, and it'll sit on the market. And so what I wouldn't want to have happen to us is that we go ahead and target that 750 net and enter the market with that in mind instead of entering the market with a good marketing strategy to get the best price possible for you. Does that make sense?
Time. Okay, so good job. You pushed through, Rachel. You did it. You pushed through. Now let's give you some feedback. What's my boy?
$4 million apartment.
Listen.
And just
they're out there. They're out there.
I know.
Hey, so David, right before you cut it, I was going to say to her, you know what? Let me test the market out and let's see how close
she was ready. Come. She was signing.
I was going to say, let's test it out. So yeah.
Okay. Well, wow. That's awesome.
Okay.
All right. Well, good job, Rachel. Elbow, what you got?
So Ludora kind of said one of the things I was going to say, but I would also say to Rachel that her approach to trying to get the house on the market was a good one. The one thing that I did observe that I was wondering is the why 750? Like that question was never really answered to understand what was important about that. I thought she also did a good job in trying to determine motivation.
Okay. So, Rachel, I kind of tricked you on this one. This was a real situation I had, and I did what you did. I asked why they were moving. They said downsizing. I started assuming all this stuff, shoveling the snow, the cost of the property, and I was trying to get them to list with me based on all of that. And guess what the issue was? it wasn't any of that. It was a health issue, and they couldn't navigate the stairs anymore. And so being that big apartment, they needed to downsize to one level living. And I'm sitting here talking about all this stuff, and everything I said, if it was price, would have been right. I didn't really understand what the motivation is. So Elle was saying, what is it about 750, which is a great question. I want you to ask, what is it about downsizing? Why is that important to you? Because it may not be the price. We assume that as soon as we hear downsizing, we all assume, well, they want to save some money, right? Get into a smaller place, less upkeep, less taxes. That's not necessarily it. And so what I would tell you guys is come from curiosity. Tell me a little bit more about that. What are you downsizing for? What's that going to do for you? And let them talk, and you will be surprised the information you get, and they will tell you how to sell them, because it may not be about numbers.
Yeah, and also maybe not assume that it's about their knees. Like, let them tell you it's about their knees.
all that for sure. Okay, thank you. Good job with the role play. I wanted to make sure you guys, let me just tell you why I'm doing this a little differently, and it's going to take me a while to get used to this new format. However, one thing that was pointed out to me and feedback that was given to me is that people come here to role play and not just to observe other people being role played. And half the time when we only have a few, or the people who normally raise their hand, they get a chance to shine, which is great, but you don't get a chance to practice. And so I know it's a little uncomfortable when you get called on. However, I know that's what you're here for. So I just want to let you guys know that in the future, this is what we're going to do. We're going to rotate. I'm going to work to get everybody in here an opportunity to role play by having 3 people selected. So you at least get an opportunity to unmute and start talking and start getting comfortable. I think you guys can all agree it wasn't that bad, right? So, and it's better I like hearing from other people. I like hearing what you guys are saying and what you're not saying and what you need to figure out. So just know moving forward on Fridays, that's what we're going to do, and get more people involved with the role play. So I love that we have people coming over. Thalia came over from Instagram and joined the Zoom, and you did really well. And thank you for being here. And I hope to see more people from Instagram coming over here, because this is where you actually learn. So can I give you guys a quick assignment? Just really quick. Everybody on here, I assume, has made calls, prospecting, database, circle prospecting, FISBOs, expireds. And I know all of you guys can think about that one person, like, man, I had a good connection with them. I know they really are serious about selling their home. You know who that person is. Is there anybody on the call that does not have that one person they can think of? Be honest, it's okay if you don't, but I just want to know, is there anybody who can't think of at least one person that was a good conversation, might be interested in selling, might be interested in buying or investing, that you could call? Just put me in the chat if you don't have anybody. I just want to see if anybody is there. Let me see. Put me if you don't have anyone. Okay, I don't see any me's. So here's what I'll say. I have 24 people on this call. I'm putting my number in the chat if you're willing to take me up on this challenge. And if you're not, I'm questioning, why the hell are you even here? Because we're not here just to practice scripts. We're here to make some money, right? Okay, geez, we're here to make some money. My assignment I'm not going to even give you this weekend. Today, call that person. They don't answer the phone, text that person. They don't text you back. Get in your car and go knock on their door. If they don't answer, leave a note card in the door, not in the mailbox. You'll get in trouble. The question is, how bad do you want it? You know that one person, you got this one opportunity. What you gonna do with it today? I challenge y'all, get off this call them immediately. And here's what I recommend. You call, they don't answer, hang up, call right back. They don't answer the second time, leave a voicemail, right? Follow up with a text. If it was me, I'm going to their house. Show them that you want it. And what I always tell people when I call like that and I text and I stop by their house, hey, I hope you can see how hard I'm working to earn your business. Just wait till you put me to work. Let me show you what I can do. Like, I'm hungry. Show them you hungry. Like Les Brown say, are you hungry? Like, are you hungry? You know how I feel about that. I think a lot of y'all are like, I could eat. I don't want you eating salad. I want like carnivores right now. I want y'all to be hungry. So who's not going to take me up on that challenge today? And it's okay if you, who's not going to do it?
Hey, David, there's a couple of people I can think that fit that scenario you're giving us.
Yeah.
But they don't have to sell their home. So that they don't have to sell. So I can't pressure them to let's list it because they've got to rent it out as an Airbnb. They're trying to decide if they want to keep it as, you know what I'm saying? They don't have to sell. And so what do you do?
You can't motivate anybody. You can motivate them through asking questions. You don't have to sell. You put it on the market. Why? If you did sell it, what does that mean? What are you doing with that money? Are you buying another investment opportunity you really want? You want to buy a property in Portugal, but you can't because this one hasn't sold? Talk to me about Portugal. Why is that important? What's your life going to look like when you can go on vacation on your own property in Portugal? What's that look like? Stop being tied to the outcome of getting the deal and start plugging into what's important to them and understanding their motivation, and go ask questions, because we can't motivate them, but we can aid them through questions and making them remember why they put the house on the market in the first place. Seriously.
That's good. Okay.
Sharif?
One thing I learned the hard way is if somebody goes out of their way to put their personal informations to the public online, they are interested. We just have to find, like he said, their motivation. I was going to say it, but he literally said everything I was going to say. We just have to find the why did you go out of your way to put your phone number, your personal phone number that you've had for years, to the public, knowing people are going to call you.
There you go.
So they are probably telling you they're not interested in selling because maybe they didn't see value in you. Maybe they didn't see how hard you can work and what you can deliver to them and how you can get them, make the most amount of money.
I love that, man. Sharif, as a new agent, man, I love how you think about these things. You know what needs to happen. You know what needs to be done. You're going to have success, man. I love it. So we're at the 9:30 hour. Let me just say this. I think we had the most role plays we've ever had. Congratulations to you guys for stepping out of your comfort zone, especially the people that came off IG and came here. That's what I'm talking about. So more of that. People on IG, if you're there, come over here on Zoom for next week. So I'm going to let you guys go. The people who are interested in staying and hearing about Push, stay on. Let me just tell you, Push is not for you if you're not ready to step out of your comfort zone and ready to be pushed. I only want to talk to people who recognize what our job is, and our job is to lead, generate, and prospect every day. In order to do that, we have to be equipped with the right words. We have to know what to say, how to say it. We have to have the confidence, because I know this, and I know this from my experience, and I know this because I've coached hundreds of agents. Most of you guys are not making calls, and it's not because you're afraid of somebody hanging up or cursing out on you. You're literally afraid, and I've been there, of somebody saying, well, yeah, okay, come show me what you can do. And you don't know what the hell to do. Like, you're like, I don't know how to present and get in front of a seller and show them why they should hire me. And even if I can get through it, when they ask me about lowering my commission, I don't know how to respond. Or when they tell me they need to think it over, I don't know what to say in order to get them to sign with me tonight. So it keeps you from even making the calls. Or like this challenge I just gave you, those people who are ready and you're not calling because you're not ready. Because if you were, you absolutely would not be sitting on the sidelines letting a viable seller just sit there and not calling them. So that's the only type of people I want staying on this call. If that's not you, it's okay to just be like, I'm out. And also, I need people who are coachable. It's one thing to be motivated. You got to be coachable too. So with that said, everybody who doesn't want to hear about Push, thank you for being here today. I really appreciate you guys being here. We had a great role play. Go get after it. You have my phone number in the chat. After you make that call, send me a text and Dave, I made my one call for the day. This shows me who's really serious. If you're here just for infotainment or if you're really trying to get paid. If you're trying to get paid, I expect to get like 24 texts. 24. And the people on IG, I'm gonna put my phone number in here too. And y'all text me. All right, here we go. Damn, what is my phone number? I'm tripping right now. I don't know what I'm putting in here. Okay, there we go. Sorry, sorry guys. All right, so here, let me get into this real quick, and then I'm gonna go. I have to do this in less than 10 minutes because Instagram's gonna shut down because I have my brick device that shuts my cell phone down, and I cannot use social media after 9:45. So let me just say this. I'm super excited because on October 30th, I start off Push Listing and Prospecting Masterclass. I started this program because when I moved from Houston to Dallas, I didn't know what I was doing and I had to start making money. And so I didn't know the scripts. I didn't know the objection handling. I had to get on the phone and get cursed out and get hung up on and figure out what to say and get back on that phone and call those people back. And just from thousands of phone calls and calling for sell-by owners and calling expires, I learned pretty quickly they all say the same thing. So I needed to come up with the right script, the right objection handler, and more importantly, the right questions to ask them so I could actually convert. So for me, like getting on the phone and talking to people is how I went about making money. And I know that you guys need to have the confidence that you can do it as well. However, like I just mentioned, a lot of you aren't getting on the phone because of the listing side of the business. You don't know how to handle the listing. So I start off the Push training program with focusing on listings. And all of my alumni will tell you, when they finish the program, they know that they can go sit in front of a seller and have a conversation with them. And it's more of a conversation than a presentation because they have taken the time to internalize the script. I won't tell you how, but there's a lot of writing, there's a lot of role playing, but there's work that's put into internalizing that script. You make it your own. And that way, when you're presenting, you don't sound like you think you sound. Hi, I'm David. You don't sound robotic. That's what you guys think you sound like. When you internalize it, you sound like you. And it's not a matter of the script. All scripts are good. All scripts work. I teach you how to use the script, how to internalize the script, how to make it your own. So when you're sitting in front of that seller, you have confidence in what you're saying. So what we do is we start off with pre-qualifying. I want you to find out if those people you have appointments with are worth keeping, because some of them aren't. And once you pre-qualify them, you may cancel half those appointments. So that's the first part of Push. How to pre-qualify. There is a framework. There are a number of questions you absolutely have to go through. And it's a standard in your business after going through Push that no matter who the person is, whether it's your mother, your best friend, or a neighbor, everybody is pre-qualified, because the framework I teach you is to find out what their questions are and what their objections and concerns are before you even show up. Do you guys understand? If you know that, then it becomes your listing to lose. Because if you know their questions and their concerns and their objections before you go, you can weave all that into your presentation and cover it all, and they're going to be ready to sign. You get that, right? So that's what we start off with. Then we go into putting together a great pre-listing packet. This goes to the seller before you even meet with them. The pre-listing packet is your bio, is your resume. It's who you are. It's the process you go through to sell their home. It's the stats on you or your company and how well you do working with clients. And then testimonials, reviews. And then I have a special section about homework that you give the seller that really helps you find out if they're coachable. So there's a lot of components to it. I help you put it together. Once it's put together, I review it and give you feedback. From there, we go into the listing presentation. We learn it soup to nuts. Here's what I mean by that. Everything that you do from the minute you walk out of your car is a script. So we practice everything. And this may sound corny to you now. We even practice this. Hey, it's David. It's 11 o'clock. We have an appointment at 11. Can I come in? If you don't practice that, you're going to walk up to that door and go, hey, it's Radney Realty Group with David Radney. And you're going to mess up, right? And the minute you mess up, your confidence goes down. And you're beating yourself up like, I can't believe I didn't even say my name right. And when you have to sit down in front of them at the kitchen table, your confidence is already shot. So we practice everything. How to take control of that meeting from the minute you walk in the door all the way through covering the comparables, asking questions, overcoming objections. And here's the key that I really think is important: how to close multiple times, because everybody needs to think it over. Everybody wants to interview another agent. How do you handle those objections and get them to sign with you? Because if you leave at home, the chances of you getting that listing appointment go down more than 50%. So I train you how to walk away with that paperwork signed, because that's what you're there for. And if you're not closing them, aren't you really showing them that you're not going to be able to close getting their home sold? You're showing them you don't know how to do the job. So I teach you how to close. And after all that's done, the first 3 weeks is all about the listing. Once I know you have confidence to go on the listing appointment, then we have fun. We get on the phone. We practice FSBOs and expireds, and we make phone calls. We call FSBOs in class, and I listen to you and give you feedback. And all the whole time you're taking the class, you have a role play partner, a different role play partner every week, where you're practicing the scripts you learn in class, right? I have you record the listing presentation on video and send it to me. And I get feedback for you and for the entire class. So you guys have tons of examples of people going through the presentation so that you can see it. That's what push is about. And more importantly, you get the push. I'm not going to sit back and let you be comfortable. I'm not going to take excuses like I didn't do the homework. If you're here to play full out. Cameras on, paying attention, role playing, homework's turned in, role plays are done. This is a highly accountable program for people who are serious about growing their business. So here's what I will say. If you're interested in finding out more, like, hey, this might be right for me, it starts up October 30th, I'd like to have a call with you to see if it makes sense, because it's not right for everyone, right? It's an investment that you will make in you. You need to hear a little bit more about it. Talk to me about it. So what I'm going to tell you to do, if you want to schedule a call with me, I'm going to put my number in the chat again. It's 201-993-0016. Just send me a text and say, David, I want to schedule a call about push. I make you one promise. I don't chase. I'll give you the information. If it makes sense for you, great. If it doesn't, great. You don't know what you don't know. So if you want to know more, reach out to me. And I say, let's go get it. 2026 is coming. We're already in 2026. So you need to be learning the skills right now so that you hit the ground running next year. And I'm ready. So let me know if you are. I appreciate you guys. Y'all have a good one. And if you have any questions, book a call with me and we'll cover everything on the call. It's 15 minutes. I'll see y'all later. Thanks for staying around. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.